Hi everybody, this is year 4 of the Big Hole Peak Lookout project. It's 2016 and we are going to get it done this year. During our first week at the project, we were up in the eaves this year trying to install wire mesh to keep the pack rats from coming in through the roof, as well as we worked on the floor and the subfloor. While we were working on the floor on the interior, we had volunteers working on the outside. We were working on our shutters, getting our shutter braces so that people could open and close the windows. These shutters weigh roughly 50 to 80 pounds. They're heavy, and so these shutter braces are made to last through an 80-mile-an-hour wind. They are sturdy. We came in and we shook and shook and shook, but nothing's going to take those shutters down. Once they're up, they are good. We received a Region 1 Heritage Stewardship Enhancement Grant where we were able to add more paint to the exterior. We were also working on the furniture. Our furniture was made in the Region 1 Preservation Shop where it was made and constructed, and it was flown into the lookout this year by a helicopter where we had to put it back together, glue it, and then start our painting. All the furniture inside is going to have to be green, just like it was before.
The Big Hole Lookout is a Grange Hall style lookout, and what makes it very unique is that it has vertical corner posts, and then the horizontal logs are mortise and tenoned into those corner posts, as well as each log is coped to fit tightly on top of the log below it. And what we had to do is disassemble each wall one wall at a time, stack up all those original logs, and then stack up a new set of logs and recreate those exactly. So you have the logs, and then you have a bank of windows, and then you have your roof. So as part of the correct preservation and restoration process, we've worked to make that lookout look as good as it did when it was first built. We replaced the roof, and we replaced that, and it's called in kind. That means that we replaced the roof materials with how it was built originally, which was 16-inch cedar shingles. We're redoing the floor. We're using the same exact shiplap as the original floor. Any damaged tongue and groove siding on the interior, same exact siding, same species, same size. The windows, the door, again recreated. So when we're all done, this lookout is going to look just as good as it did as when it was first built.
What a great year we had with our volunteers. Our Passport in Time volunteers have all come back at least one season before. We had George Leitner, who was there for 4 years. Rob Seeley, Dave Dobbin was there for 3 years. We had Dave Inge there for 2 years. And this year we had Chad Kinzel. The last time he was there was 50 years ago. 1966, Chad was the lookout.
I came up on this lookout in 1966, the summer of '66. I was a sophomore at University of Montana in Missoula, and it was my first job with the Forest Service, and I was 23. And they stationed me up here, and I was here from probably mid-June until the end of September. During that time, I think I saw 3 people, except for the packer and the fire control officer, who came up to do an inspection to make sure I was either dressed properly, which I wasn't, or knew all the territory. And he'd finish his report and wrote on the bottom, the best lookout in the district. I feel that I own the place, only because at one time during the summer, it seemed like time shifted, and I didn't want to see another soul. It just seemed like I just blended in with the natural rhythm of the place. It was exceedingly lovely. And just, okay, don't take me out of here. That's 50 years ago, so maybe that's why I'm here, because this is the 50th year of being on this lookout. I'm really honored to be here. I mean, I never expected to do this. I think there was only one really serious thunderstorm, and being in the lookout and getting blasted by lightning, the lookout was struck by lightning. Just this huge white flash and a great big crash. What we were told at the time is just simply never get between the big cook stove and the fire finder, because the electricity could easily arc, and when it really got bad, I climbed back on the bunk and stayed low. The water trail went down directly below the lookout across what I now know is the Bay State Trail, and then down to the water hole. It's a half-hour hike one way. But the water down there was deliciously ice cold. It still is clear. I mean, the way it's been fixed up is just a big round, looks like black plastic tub with a PVC pipe coming in with a filter device at one end, and it's laying in a puddle of water that's not much bigger than a hubcap. And that's it. There's no other water around, and it's filling this trough and dribbling over the side. So out of respect for the water, I drank it and thanked it, because that's what you do with water.
We've had so many people working on this project. We have Passport in Time volunteers, Backcountry Horsemen volunteers. We also have the Region 1 pack string, the law enforcement pack string. We've had Bonner's Ferry pack string. We've had 2 pack strings from the Lolo National Forest. So that takes care of our stock. We've also had volunteers from the YCC. YCC is the Sanders County Youth Conservation Corps, young adults ages 16 to 18 that work for the Forest Service on projects. And they've been up there all 4 years doing trail maintenance, painting part of the lookout, and this year they restored the spring box where the water was gathered for the lookout. Not only have we had the Backcountry Horsemen Wild Horse Plains chapter, they helped us get a grant so that the Mission Valley helicopter could help us haul material in and out of the lookout for 3 years. Fantastic. They were able to lift at least 4,000 pounds from the trailhead to the lookout. It was great.
So this week the Wild Horse Plains Backcountry Horsemen brought up 1 riding stock and 1 packing stock each. We've had a pretty good showing. I think 6, 7, 8 people or something like that from the club, which is great.
Well, we just came back from the lookout. We're getting ready to have some lunch. It's 2016 and we are in our camp. As you can see from behind me, we have a nice wall tent, and just everyone's getting ready, have a little bite to eat before we go back up. We learned a long time ago that if you want to have good volunteers and volunteers to come back, you have to provide good food. That is one thing our volunteers have said they've always appreciated coming to the Lolo Passport in Time projects, is that we provide the food. And our cook once again knocked it out of the ballpark. Day 7, Big Hole Peak Lookout Project. 4:30 comes around, and that's when we saw the fire start. We were so close to getting it done this year. We probably had 2, maybe 3 days to complete the project. At 5 o'clock, the helicopter came over and said that we were going to need to evacuate from the lookout. The fire came and it was going fast. With the winds that were going, they said that it was better for us to leave now and be able to walk out versus having to run for our lives. It takes about 3 hours for us to leave the lookout. Once we're at camp, to get to the highway is 3 hours. I got to go back up the next day, this time with a helicopter, be dropped off, and then we added the structure wrap to protect Big Hole Lookout. Oh, that was great. We had 6 firefighters with us, helping us wrap the lookout, as well as put all of the tools and equipment into slings where the helicopter could fly it out of there.
So we're down in the gravel pit today. Our original goal was to go back up to the lookout today. Today is August 1st. It was going to be the last week of our pit project. We were going to get the lookout done. We have the floor to do, finish the painting and daubing, install the door, and finish leveling the lookout. However, there is a fire nearby, so we are evacuating the base camp and the lookout. So there's people up there gathering up all the tools and all the personal gear and all of our tents, which is a pretty good project. We have a lot of stuff up there. So we are standing here waiting for our stuff to come down, and we will have to go back probably next year and finish the project, which is a little disappointing. We have 4 years into the Big Hole Lookout project with pit volunteers and coordination with the regional office, the forest, and the district, and a lot of money and salary and a lot of volunteer time, with the Backcountry Horsemen and pit volunteers. So we'll give it another crack when it's a lot safer.
What really impresses me about a project such as Big Hole Lookout is that people volunteer. They come out and they give back to the American public. They contribute to us. And what can we do as the Forest Service? We can now contribute back to the public. We're going to be able to offer Big Hole Lookout as a cabin rental on the cabin rental program. That means people can come to Big Hole Lookout, stay for a night or two, and then go and enjoy what everyone else has done for that lookout.